about to start here at Football Park between the Bulldogs and the Eagles. The Eagles kicking to the southern end, the golf course end. Bruce Lindsay looking for a free kick with that familiar action. Oh, there's a great diving mark taken by Buckley, who's a late replacement for Craig Braddy, who was a late withdrawal due to a strained medial ligament. The ball comes back to Jamie Thomas. There was a cloud over this player as well. Minchington over that. He couldn't take it. The ball socket off the ground, coming back out towards Thomas. It's been picked up cleanly there by Chaplin as he puts that ball forward. Out towards Mandemaker. Robson over the top. Oh, and illegally. And a free kick's been picked out and it'll go the way of Rudy Mandemaker. Well, Laurie Argent, the umpire there, talking to Lee Robson, just explaining what he did wrong. I'm sure Lee Robson, affectionately known as Goon, possibly won't agree with that.
All the leads are covered inside. Kim, I think he's going to have a shot for goal.
Well, I don't think distance will be a problem, Neville. Kicks an extremely long ball. It's just a matter whether he can bring it back, and oh, it's gone dead straight. What a magnificent kick by Rudy Mandemaker to kick the first goal for the Dogs in the opening minute of the game.
Big Rudy Mandemaker. There's not much he can't do on a football field for his size. A lot of dexterity for a big man. Kicks a lot of goals. Certainly is a focal point up forward. And what a great start to Central District after a terrible Monday night out against North Adelaide.
Big Coffey, who was taken apart by Mick Redden on Monday night, wins that tap opposed to Frank Spiel. The ball now comes out in the direction of Schwert. Oh, he rode that bump beautifully. Tried to get the handball out towards Pryor, was the player he's looking for. Went to Rowe, though. Rowe in turn out there to Sullivan. He couldn't take the ball, and we'll have a throw in front of the grandstand. Shane McGrath is down behind play. He appears to be winded. He's crouched over at the moment. We'll monitor his progress over the next few minutes as Spill wins that tap. David Foote at the bottom of the pack. Out towards the magician, Gilbert McAdam. He gets around several players. The handball is very good. In fact, it placed Coffey under pressure, but he had Pryor there to lend support. And this brilliant defender for the Dogs over a number of seasons drives it long to Mandemaker. That'll be a battle royal between him and Robson. But that kick there under pressure by Minchington has gone out of bounds on the full.
Good movement forward by the Dogs. I thought if Mandemaker could have held ground a little bit longer, he might have just been able to take that, but good work by Robson. Schwartz brings the ball back in. High, underneath it, Coffey. Good mark, not allowed. Spiel, in fact, tries to give it off in close quarters to Foote, doesn't come off. With it now is Harper. Intercepted by the magician himself. Nicknamed by Kim Dillon. It's Gilbert McAdam. Long to Mandemaker, nearly. Not quite. Coming away with it and doing it well, Alan Schwartz. Goes to the far side. First to it will be Troy Clark. Plenty of time. Has a look. Hannum can play this lad. First game I saw him in was against Northern Foundation Cup. He kicked 4 that night and did it well. You remember that was a win to West Torrens. In fact, the win that Michael Ace attributed Norwood's recovery in last week's game against the Bays here at Football Park.
Throw in front of the scoreboard, left-hand side of the goal for the Eagles. The ruck work will be done by Chris Lindsay, opposed to Coffey. Lindsay wins the tap easily. He's got a decided height advantage. Bruce Lindsay over the top of that. Tried to paddle it back between his legs, but the courageous captain for the Eagles couldn't keep the ball in play. Then guarded very closely there by Stephen Schwert, younger brother of Patrick, who unfortunately couldn't resume his league football career after a nasty knee injury. Out to McAdam once more. Sold the pup beautifully. The handball now comes out to the running player in Girdham, who is acting captain for the Dogs. He puts it out wide. Noel Long out there. Brother of Michael, picks it up cleanly. He had the support there of Schwartz. Went it alone and speared the ball back in the centre to Frank Spiel, who chips out a short pass to Morford. He drops that, but I can tell you he's been in sensational touch this season. His kick is high from behind Coffey, and that's a very good mark by the youngster.
Got the drop on Chris Lindsay and also on Lawrence Shackey. And between them, they really have to work that out. They can't let Grant Coffey have a clean run at the ball. In it comes again. Shackey underneath it, couldn't take it. Well spoiled away. Chaplin, Gilbert McAdam. Plenty of pace, he won't get caught. Gives it off unintelligently though on that occasion. Girdham, and very fortunate to get out of it. Close in quarters. Not too good. On they go. Schwert with the ball. Number 40 for the Dogs. High to half forward. Didn't have a look. Frank Spill in the way. And looking for a free ride somewhere. On that occasion was Stephen Lally.
He looked like a drover's dog then as he hopped on top of the, well, like he was walking across some cattle. The kick from Troy Clark out towards Hannah. Good spoil, but a rather crude tackle, which came after that spoiling attempt. And the ball will go back to Mark Hannam. Well, there's numbers, there's running players everywhere, and Frank Spill is one of the big men. He doesn't normally like kicking. He had no other option, and he's placed it nicely out towards Shackey. Lawrence Shackey under a huge injury cloud all week. Spears out a pass. Chris Lindsay pushes and shoves, and he got straight in the back of Grant Coffey. He's doing a fine job in the first 5.5 minutes of this game. The Dogs 1 goal, the Eagles yet to score. The breeze favouring the northern end, but it's not that strong, and it's fairly gusty, so it's hard to say what advantage it really has. Mark Pryor made hard work of that on the outer side, and then he was placed under pressure by Hannam, and that's a pretty awful mistake.
So the Dogs, 6 points clear. West Torrens, no score. Morford high, couldn't hold it. Comes back quickly. Held in well there on that occasion. David Buckley. Replacing Craig Braddy. Medial ligament strain. Not serious. Serious enough to keep him out. Shackey does the ruck work against Coffey. Hannam forward quickly to Lindsay. And the Eagles with a chance. Bruce Lindsay, 6 years, or 6th year as captain of West Torrens. He's captain South Australia. All-Australian. The champion. Goes forward. That's why he's a champion. Great goal on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Well, Bruce Lindsay was in the correct position there. The kick that came out, it wasn't a purposeful pass, but that's the advantage of being in front in the forward lines. He caught his defender in Schwert napping. He had a metre on his opponent, took an easy uncontested mark, and then kicked truly. And you'd expect Bruce Lindsay to do that 9 times out of 10.
Centrals have won the last 5 against West Torrens. They're looking to reverse that today. Out of the centre they go. Gurdam working hard. So Spill. Good work for a backman or a big man. Geyer gives it back to Swartz. Very deliberately goes towards Lindsay. Lindsay tries to knock it over the top. Doesn't happen. Trying to push it on was Foot. Lally with the ball now. Time to steady. Just spears it in between a couple of West Torrens players. Monroe has the ball. Grandstand side. So it's slowly into the forward line, putting their forwards under a lot of pressure, Central District. Still, Morford, first to it, around the body. In the way, and taking a very easy relieving mark, Stephen Rowe.
Trevor Rowe, known as the perennial tagger in recent seasons, for the great jobs he's done on key players in opposition sides. Notably, Michael Aish being the probably his most prized scalp. Laurie Argent to bounce the ball, and Laurie's officiating today with Jeff Jeans. Well, in fact, I should say Jeff Jeans is running the boundary. No, he's actually officiating. I'll get it right. One of the new brigade of umpires. The ball punched out towards the boundary line. Sullivan first there. He should be able to hook that back. He keeps it in play nicely. Baker, crashes his way through. He's well tackled. Play on the call. Nicely picked up by Troy Clark. The handball to Harper was good. His kick is high. McGrath sets himself, got hands to the football, but couldn't take the mark. And a free kick's been picked out by umpire Jeans. And it'll go the way of Noel Long.
Long, natural left footer, pushes it towards centre half forward. Shackey takes front position, did that well. Bodka does the roving, does it well. Schwert gives it to Bodka. They go inside. Coffey with the ball now. Long screw punt to half forward. Ingerson takes what he should have, or drops what he should have taken. Spill with him. They do battle. Schwert pushes it back again. This time Shackey. Great catch. Buckley with him, couldn't stop him. Off goes Lindsay. No one in the square. Getting back there for West Torrens was Hannam. Lindsay smothered. Bruce Lindsay this time. Off the ground, foot. 1 point only. Plenty of pressure. Great football action on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
10 minutes gone in this opening term. And the Eagles lead by 1 point. It'll be Peter Bubner to bring the ball back into play. He's got the job of looking after big Chris Lindsay. There's that layback, easy kicking style of Bubnan. It was well placed to find Coffey. A little too much pace for Frank Spill. So both big men in the first 10 minutes of this game playing well for their sides. The ball put out there looking for Sullivan, the spoil by Baker. The ball kicked off the ground. It comes out towards Gilbert McAdam, shrugs off the tackle oh so easily. Now back to Jamie Thomas. Thomas's handball to Sullivan, back towards McAdam. He ducked his head. Play on the call. Well, that's good umpiring, even though the tackle was high. He definitely ducked his head. The ball's been picked up by Ingerson. The natural left footer drives it in long. At the back of the pack is Mandemaker, but the boundary line wins out.
Mandemaker took back position there, Kim, and tried to move the entire force of the pack with both hands. He was unsighted by the umpire, and if he'd gotten away with it, good play. There he is, big man. Spill against Coffey, Spill, or against Ingerson at least. Spill got the knock. Sullivan with the ball. Tries to get his way through. Does it well. Goes to goal. Great play, Central Districts.
Well, big Frank Spill won the tap. The ball eventually came down to Sullivan, and it was a great solo effort by Paul Sullivan as he weaved his way through the pack, lined up the goals, and he absolutely split the centre. He started off in pretty dazzling form in the first term against North Adelaide on Monday night, and he was one of their better performers throughout the game, and he's looking fairly sharp at the start of this game as well.
10 goals, 2 separated these two sides in the Foundation Cup. In round 22 last year, it was 8 goals. West Torrens really need to turn that around as Shaki takes another telling mark at centre-half forward. Injury cloud or not, he's opened up brilliantly. Long kick towards goal. It's just sensational, a little offline. What an impact he's having on the game, Kim. Centre-half forward, taking lots of catches and drawing the ball.
Well, he's already had 3 kicks, Neville, and 3 marks from centre-half forward, and I'm sure everyone's aware how difficult that position is to play. And let's hope that he has no problems with that knee as Hannum tries to get the ball away. The football goes straight out to Mark Botka, who had a rather poor day at the office on Monday night. And the ball comes out to Chaplin. Let's not forget that this lad is playing his 3rd game in 8 days. He fronted up for the reserves on Saturday, and with the late withdrawal of Peter Krieg, he was forced to play Monday night and acquitted himself quite well. Philip Graham, the handball, out there towards Ingerson. Can't pick it up cleanly. Met solidly by Baker. He gets a handball out towards Harper. He paddles the ball forward. Philip Graham first there. He hooks that back around his body, but not far enough, and the ball has gone out of play on the outer side. 12.5 minutes gone. The Eagles 1-2, 8 points. The Dogs 2 goals, 12 points. That's a 4-point advantage to the Bulldogs. Bill wins that tap. Baker thumps the ball forward. Girdham in there battling hard. Over the top of it, Morford. He got the handball out to Harper. His hands were good to get that ball out to the running player in Troy Clark, who spears out a pass. Well picked up by Tui. His handball to McGrath was very slick. McGrath normally pretty good around the goals. He lined them up and he banged it through. First goal to Shane McGrath. Greatly set up by young Gerard Tui.
There's Shane McGrath. I should thank Gerard Tui there. Tui's form, the first 2 premiership rounds of this year, have been excellent. Kicked like 3 or 4 goals last week at full forward, Shane McGrath. Kicked 4, in fact, this week at centre-half forward or half-forward flank. And between he, Shaki and Chris Lindsay, lots of big man strength for the Eagles.
Ball back in the centre. Jeff Jeans puts the ball to ground. It came down towards Jamie Thomas. Kick around his body. Oh, that came off the fingertips of Baker, but it's picked up nicely by Schwartz. He's having a great season. The kick is high and wide, and it's out of bounds on the full. And even though that kick was poor, it was the 5th one for Schwartz, his confidence has really lifted this season. He made the News Footy Team of the Week. And to be in the best 20 players out of 200 that are going around each Saturday, it's a credit to your form. The ball tapped out. David Foote in there. The handball back out to that man Schwartz. He plays a short pass out towards Noel Long. Noel Long centres the ball. That's good vision by that player. He's found Morford, who should just steady the ship for a moment. Has a look, drives it in long. Shaki sets himself. He's got 2 to beat. Buckley was the destroyer from behind. Then McAdam gave that out to the running player in Pryor. He's poetry in motion, Mark Pryor. That mark should have been taken by Sullivan. Couldn't do so. Robson's in there, and we'll have a ball up about 30 metres out.
Neil Curley wouldn't be that happy with their early form. A lot of opportunities in the forward line. Not getting enough small players around the crumbs. Not enough help around the packs. Players really just playing a bit unconfidently out at Elizabeth at the moment. Lally tries to get around Baker on that occasion. Graham chips it back in. And they do well through Guy to get the ball out to the far side. First to it was Mark Hannum. He couldn't stop it from going out of bounds. So 14 plays 12, not much in it. Torrens got away to a great start with the year. Win over South. And Central's a poor start. Second time this year they've had a belting by North Adelaide. Scott Morford. Over the top, Gilbert McAdam. Beautiful evasion skills to Mandemaker, who worked every centimetre of that. And rightfully so. Lee Robson walking over Mandemaker like he was a front doormat.
Probably obviously no reason to do that, Neville. Mandemaker had completed the mark, and he didn't hurt Mandemaker by falling on top of him, and now he's a real opportunity to post this one.
Backline players like to do that. I believe it will worry you next time you go for the ball. Won't worry this fella. Nice goal. His second on Nines Wide World of Sports.
Yeah, the Dogs move on to 3 straight goals. The Eagles 2-2. But isn't it great to have a player of the class of Gilbert McAdam to be, if you're a forward, to be down ground? The way he can just balance himself. He got around an opponent quite easily, lifted the eyes, saw Mandemaker and placed it to perfection out in front of that player. And the big chap didn't let him down, and the 15 metres certainly did help.
2-2-14. West Torrens. They trail Central District 3-18. Great day. Opened up in plenty of pace this game, or with plenty of pace. Forward go the Eagles. Mark Pryor's got something to say about that. For Thomas. Sullivan. Hit high, Schwartz on Sullivan. No matter. Sullivan tough enough to get up and go on with it. Does it quickly. Go Ingerson. That's the value of players moving the ball in quickly. If in fact Sullivan had taken his time or played up that head high tackle, this gentleman here, Tony Ingerson, wouldn't be having a shot for goal. 50 metres off, out. Third kick, left footer. Let's ride it with him. Wood will go close. Mandemaker spoils. I don't believe what I've just said. It's a goal though. Oh, Mandemaker did everything in his power to ruin that for Anthony Ingerson. That's his first. And the Dogs' fourth on Nines Wide World of Sports.
Well, I thought you called that to perfection, Neville, because Mandemaker, I don't know what he was doing then. He didn't even attempt to take the mark. He flew and he just thumped the ball forward, and he is just so lucky that his arm was adjudged to be behind the white line when he made contact, because it would have spoiled a magnificent kick by Anthony Ingerson. The Dogs have some little lead now, 4-2. And back in there was Troy Clark. He couldn't take it. Girdham, the handball out to Gilbert McAdam. McAdam on top of Clark at the moment. Well, in fact, Clark was on top of McAdam. That's why he got the free kick. As far as the who's playing the best is concerned, Gilbert McAdam is winning quite clearly. 9 touches, in fact. That's loose checking as Girdham got by himself. Placed out the ball, and Mandemaker's taken another mark. And old Lee Robson has his hands full at the moment.
Probably not a better player on the ground than Lee Robson to take him on, Kim. He's reasonably quick. He's a lanky player, plenty of experience. It just shows how well Mandemaker leads and how well some of those Central District players can get the ball in.
That's correct, Neville. Girdham was left all by himself, so he wasn't under a lot of pressure when he placed that ball in. Now Mandemaker has an opportunity with his third kick to kick his third goal. This time he's offline, so he's blotted the copybook. He's kicked a point. The Dogs move on to 4-1. That's their first point for the game. 25 points, leading the Eagles 2-2-14.
Bruce Lindsay giving the lead. Took off in with plenty of pace. Gee, looks good this year, Bruce Lindsay. Set for a beauty. Noel Long behind takes the catch, but Coffey's been interfered with by Frank Spiel or by Chris Lindsay's on the ball at the moment. Fourth kick, Coffey puts it high. Into the square, Mandemaker again. Oh, he's on fire, Mandemaker. 3 kicks, 2 goals, 1. Not a betting man, but I'd suggest that his stats after this kick will be 3 goals with 4 kicks. Value for kicks player he is. Shouldn't miss from there. He doesn't. Central's 5th on Marge Widewater Sports.
Well, Lee Robson has a real headache in the shape of Rudy Mandemaker. The free kick was given. Coffey was in fringe. He drove it in long. Both players were running backwards to get in position. And Mandemaker just managed to hold out Robson. He had the drop on him, but nevertheless, it was a very good mark from an awkward position. .5 minutes gone, so we're about 4.5 minutes from time on. The Eagles 2-2-14, the Dogs 5-1-31. They're kicking with the breeze and they're looking pretty sharp as this game progresses.
Chris Lindsay in your screen. Start of the year with a bang. Bruce Lindsay, namesake, pushed in the back, plays on. Schwartz might get the job on Mandemaker in a minute if Mandemaker kicks any more goals. Shaki can't take it. Well spoilt by Bodka. Spill quickly out. Gets it over to Tui. Open goal. And the Eagles respond.
Well, that was tremendous play, and that was set up from Alan Schwartz right back in defence. Of course, Lindsay had the football, but Ingerson letting Schwartz run into attack, and he was about 15 metres away from Schwartz, and that's not good enough. He'll have to tighten up. But the ball was brought forward. Great thinking by Frank Spill. And Jared Tui, who kicked 4 goals last week, was left totally unattended in the goal square, and he couldn't miss, and he didn't miss, and the Eagles stay in touch on 3-2 to the Dogs 5-1.
This game's developing into a good contest. West Torrens with a good start to the season. Central District really wanting this win. They look all right, the Dogs, though. Even contest in the centre between Bruce Lindsay and Jamie Thomas. Tough contested, Jamie Thomas. Plays most of his football in the centre. And they employ some interesting strategy with him to give him lots of possessions. Out of the centre it goes. Players on top of the ball. Gilbert McAdam grabs a blue and yellow jumper. In fact, he grabbed Dale Eichner's. No free kick. Laurie Argent, plenty of experience and in control.
The bounce is a good one. Chris Lindsay tried to get hands to the football. Didn't do anything real effective. They're over the top of it, Sullivan. He tried to throw the ball out. And I'm not sure what Laurie awarded then, but the free kick has gone the way of the Eagles and it'll go the way of John Harper. Harper's kick is high. Shaki takes front positions. He's got 2 players against him every time he gets near the football. That's been paid. And, well, he stopped the flight of the ball, but that was pretty quick. I like to see him held a little longer than that. Shaki drives in once more. Big Frank resting a full forward with the spoil. It came down to Long. He tried to get a kick. He was held. Well, he was held now. He had the football. He was trying to kick it.
Yeah, I agree. That was maybe a bit lucky, but Frank Spill, just seconds before Kim, was quite clearly pushed out with no free kick.
Long plays on quickly. I don't know why he rushed it so much, but the ball now comes out to Spill. He kicked it over his head. Oh, that would have been incredible. I thought Frank was going to kick it back down the ground, but he knew what he was doing, as awkward as it did appear, and that would have been a miraculous goal.
Frank Spill, very agile attempt for goal. Big man. Almost a comeback, really, with West Torrens. Developed into a key player. Scott Lee, great mark, going the wrong way against Hannum. Plenty of courage in there. Likes to play with his socks down. Rugged defender from Hawthorn 4 years ago. Playing well for the Dogs. Dale Eichner couldn't take it. With it there was Harper. And to Shaki, and in the way. Taking a good mark in defence is Bubner. Peter Bubner outmanoeuvring Frank Spill then. Just ran him under the football and took a well-timed mark. Coffey's going to be run down. Oh, there was no talking then whatsoever. He had all the time in the world. That was poor football by the Dogs. Now they're in there working hard as Philip Graham and Mark Hannum, and got a bit of fertiliser in him, Mark Hannum. He really has a go. Doesn't mind getting involved. One of the good youngsters, the up-and-comers for the Eagles. Ball put to ground once more. Shaki doing the ruck work. The ball comes out to Buckley, who came into the side at the expense of Brady, who was a late withdrawal. And Ingerson nearly took a magical mark. He's thrown out of it by Lindsay. He never had the football, Ingerson. Now the handball comes back towards Stephen Guy. His kick is a wobbly one. Bruce Lindsay, a one-hander.
Great mark by the skipper. Plays on quickly to Harper. His foot skills normally aren't the greatest. He streams towards goal. And, oh, that ball's been kept in play. No, it hasn't. The umpire indicates it went over the line. Players are still working hard to get a kick then, not realising the umpire had adjudged a minor score.
Peter Bubner brings the ball out from full back. Lally spoiled. Pryor kicks to the wing. Open spaces. First to it. Steve Geyer, quick enough to get a left footer in towards Shackey. Great catch again. Here's McGrath. And the contact lenses on Kim. As McGrath's kick goes towards full forward. Spear underneath. Well spoiled. Chewy gives it back to Clark. Clark gives it over to Foot. Foot towards goal. Right play there on Nines Wide World of Sport.
Well, Neville, as you'd be aware, that's the advantage of having numbers at the fall of the ball. There was a number of handballs thrown around then. Tui was in there, Troy Clark. Eventually the ball came out to David Foot, whose footwork, excuse the pun, is probably about the best in the Eagles side, whether it be with the left or right. He really has got good hand skills and foot skills. He didn't miss from about 30 metres out. All of a sudden there's nothing in this game. In fact, 3 points and we're into time on.
Chris Lindsay in the ruck. He'll be against Grant Coffey for the Dogs. Grant Coffey gets the benefit of a crooked bounce, not recalled. Bruce Lindsay can't control it, nor can Lally. So Harper gets the ball forward. Oh, almost a great catch by Morfitt. Interfered with though, and a zealous attempt to get back on the ball against Schwert. Professional 15-metre. Schwert wanting to get on with the play quickly. Scott Morfitt rightly held him up. Pushes it towards the wing. Ingerson against Schwartz, and I wouldn't really agree with that. But nonetheless, the umpire was a lot closer than I was. That's Jeff Jeans on your screen. Over the shoulder against Ingerson in favour of Schwartz.
Neville, an interesting statistic. That's Schwartz's 9th kick, and Ingerson has had 3. So Schwartz, and in fact, the runner's coming out towards Schwartz. He wouldn't be telling him he's doing anything wrong, but Ingerson in more trouble than the early settlers at the moment. As the ball comes down, back of the pack, oh, Lindsay tried to sock it off the ground. He got fighting ferociously there. He bangs it towards goal. Got offline and crikey, didn't he work hard then?
Setting a great example, Bruce Lindsay. As I said earlier, he looks terrific this year. Has recovered from that knee injury he had way back in '79 or thereabouts. Really ruined his career. He was signed by Collingwood just prior to that. And obviously he never made it to the VFL, but he's recovered to be a real star in South Australia. Bubner brings the ball in. One behind is Lindsay. In the back should be the call, though.
Yeah, I saw a push, Neville.
Not paid, so he gets away with it. Pushes it back in. Spill there. Couldn't take it. It's first to recover, as he often is. Bodker. McGrath off the ground. Very clever. Shackey, open goal. That's his first. A nice wide world of sports.
Well, great play by big Shane McGrath. He was out of position, he was off balance, he great presence of mind to soccer the ball forward, and lurking in the goal square there was Lawrence Shackey. With his 6th kick, he posted his first goal, and the Eagles are looking pretty dangerous. We've had 3.5 minutes of time on. The Eagles are 5-5. They've hit the front here at Football Park. The Dogs on 5-1, and let's remember, the Doggies have the breeze.
Lindsay again against Coffey. Lindsay wins it again. Bruce Lindsay first to the ball in the centre on many occasions this quarter. Forward they go through Harper. The Eagles look good. Foot couldn't manage to get it away. Shackey working hard in there. Morfitt there as well. Swert over the top of the ball. Foot, Gilbert McAdam just gets out of it. Don't really know how he did that. Swert back to McAdam. To Coffey. Bit ahead of himself. Goes to Gurdon. Gurdon going absolutely nowhere. Goes back towards Troy Clark. Forward they go again from behind. Spill. First to it was Scott Lee. Free kick. And number 12 for the Dogs. Scott Lee will receive a free kick. He's in the back pocket. And that'll take a little bit of pressure off the Dogs for now.
Neville, he was part of the duel when John Platten went to Hawthorn, and well, along with Rudy, he's certainly been the pick of the bunch. He's a magnificent player. He's best and fairest winner for the club in '87. And he's as tough as they come in that back pocket, Scott Lee. And that was a good mark taken by Lally. Stephen Lally kicks out wide. He's put it out towards Gilbert McAdam. Poor old big Chris Lindsay had to do the chasing. I'm not sure where Troy Clark is because he's the man that's on McAdam. The ball is put up high. Minchington in the middle of the pack couldn't take it. It's now paddled out towards Schwartz. Oh, he's in great form, Alan Schwartz, at the moment. I tell you what, if he could bottle confidence, you'd make $1 million because that's what he's got plenty of. Picked up by like a rover by Chris Lindsay. It comes out to Jared Toohey. He should get it in quick to Big Frank. Instead, he opts for a short pass looking for Shackey, who had to sit on Coffey. Coffey did it well. McGrath took him out. Coffey tapped the ball out. They're working hard. It's getting pretty torrid out there. The ball now comes back to Coffey. Used his body well. In fact, he positioned himself so well he won a free kick.
It was a lovely kick by Jared Toohey towards Shackey then to actually sip it over the top, running back into a space. You don't see it often in South Australia. Last side I saw do that really well was a fella called Hudson in Victoria. He kicked a few goals in his time. End of the first quarter here at Football Park. Torrens 5-5-35. They lead the Dogs 5-1-31 on 9's Wide World of Sports. Start of the second quarter, Football Park. West Torrens 5-5-35. They lead the Dogs 5-1-31. Pretty quick first quarter. Forward goes Clark. The centre half forward, Shackey, had a great first quarter. Under a cloud all week. It's certainly under a cloud now. Gives off to Foot. Oh, Adam, great catch. Well completed piece of play by the Eagles. David Foot brought that ball in after a good bit of play from Shackey, combining well. It just shows you how important it is to win that centre-half forward position. Ball comes in quickly, forwards get a chance, one out. Usually a good shot for goal. That's his first, and the Eagles kick on their way.
Well, that was magnificent play by Mark Hannam. The play was set up by Shackey. He got the ball across to David Foot. He centred it intelligently, but I'm sure the central defence thought they had that ball covered, but they didn't count on Mark Hannam just drifting in from the side. He hovered there and took a finger-top mark. It was a real classic, and he made no mistake from 10 metres out. And the Dogs did want to be careful because the Eagles have got their back up now and they're looking pretty sharp.
Spill puts it down. Gurdon couldn't control it. Out of the centre was Eichner. No long. Darwin Boyd. St Mary's around the body. Half forward for the Eagles. David Foot again. Good catch. Decided to play on. Scott Morfitt run down by Gurdon. Harper working hard, gets it out. Tries to get it out to McGrath. Hands and knees. Gurdon desperate. McGrath with him. And we'll have a ball up. Plenty of desperation. Good, strong, hard game of football.
Roger Gurdon, the acting captain for the Dogs. And a situation like this, they need experience and a real leader. Let's see if Gurdon can provide the leadership, because they need to steady the ship. They trail by 10 points, and the Eagles have the breeze. 2 minutes gone. 41 plays 31. Bubner up high. He's got a majestic leap, Bubner. He does everything so easy. The ball came out towards Gurdon, who in turn got the ball out wide there towards Rowe. The free kick's been picked out there. We'll pick up the player it's going to. They've received 15 metres as well. Umpires officiating today, Laurie Argent and Jeff Jeans. And that was Laurie Argent that gave that free kick. Jamie Thomas was the recipient of that free kick, who drove the ball in long. Noel Long playing well. Talking of Long, the handball out to David Foot, who's also picking up some valuable possessions. The ball goes over the back of the pack. Hannam Toohey in there over the top of it, playing with his socks down. He got the handball out to Hannam. Hannam has a bounce. I wouldn't do that. Oh, not with Gilbert McAdam behind you. Play on advantage. Morfitt rushed it. He was loose, but I feel sure, Neville, that he thought the free may go against Hannam.
Well, I was surprised there that it was a free kick for hanging on, because it was just a superb tackle. And as you called it, chancing your arm against Gilbert McAdam is near suicidal. Can that man run? Coffey, the target. Not quite. Beautifully done on that occasion by Troy Clark. Bruce Lindsay with the ball. He's caught. Russell Ebert style. Gives it back to Tui. Now Hannum around the body. Bruce Lindsay. He's in it everywhere at the moment, Bruce Lindsay. 7 touches. Early second quarter. Plenty of skills. We'll ride it with him. We'll be right behind him. 30 metres out from goal. Very, very acute angle. Let's have a look at him. Skipper goes forward. Oh, not bad, Bruce Lindsay. His second on Nine's Wide Water Sports.
Well, you really can't call anything else, or that anything else but a good captain's goal. It was from a difficult angle. He was very confident and direct, and he just punched it straight between those 2 white sticks, and Lindsay looking very dangerous. He's kicked 2 goals. The whole Eagles side looked pretty on the ball today. They're sharp. They had that extra day's rest, and I think the Dogs are in a little bit of trouble.
Spiel against Coffey. Spiel again. She's rucking well. Gilbert McAdam. Very quick hands to Lally. Now to Girdham. The Dogs go forward. Trevor Rowe. Chips one forward to centre-half forward. Tried to find Sullivan. He couldn't. West Torrens relieved the pressure. Noel Long couldn't control it. Shane McGrath. Big man. Oh, lovely kick to foot. Good space to change the play. Lindsay out on a lead. That's Chris Lindsay. Has the ball now, got it off hands, in fact. Coming close, oh, that's a goal. Oh, the Eagles are on fire on Nine's Wide Water Sports.
I tell you what, Neville, they can do no wrong. The kick from McGrath was very good out towards Foot. Foot put it up for Shackey, who competed very well. He appears to be holding his back. He may be a little sore. Lindsay picked it up like a rover. Then what he did after that with his 5th kick was nothing short of being a genius, the way he killed it back to the unprotected goal front. The Eagles 8-6-54, the Dogs 5-1-31.
5 minutes, second quarter. Great goals to Bruce Lindsay and namesake Chris Lindsay, as the Eagles playing with plenty of confidence. Dale Eichner, the Rainmaker. Beautifully Crumb McGrath, quickly to Eichner. Morfitt, Harper, Tui, left foot to go. Chris Lindsay, 1 catch, 2 catch, not quite. And the way they've been going, it would have backed a goal in there from Tui. The 6-minute mark, second quarter. It's 8-7-55, the Eagles. They lead the Dogs 5-1-31, and the Dogs' disastrous run continues.
The Eagles constantly attacking for the aid of this 2 or 3 goal breeze. The pass is short to Lally. It was dangerous, or short in defence. Everything's coming unstuck. Shackey towards goal. Just offline. Gee, they're bombarding those goals, Neville, and the Dogs haven't got an answer at the moment. I would say their only clear winner would be Gilbert McAdam.
I'd have to agree with you. I think they've really got to do something about Shackey. Don't really know who they can move there. But Chris Lindsay's also a problem at full forward. So plenty of things to think about. There's Neil Curley, Peter Bubner. I'd like to chop him in half and use him at in 2 key positions. Can play. Bruce Lindsay over the top of the ball, tries to hold it in. Swert there with him. And Neil Curley ducking for cover. He might leave the ground if things keep going this way. He'll be more comfortable today with the opening of the duck season somewhere else, I think. Spill puts it to ground. Coffey. Bruce Lindsay again. Real talent, quickly, foot to Shackey. Shackey to goal. That's his second. Oh, fantastic play, the Eagles on Nine's Wide Water Sports.
Well, the confidence of the Eagles is just so obvious. Every time they get an opportunity to swoop on that football, they pick it up cleanly. I mentioned in the first quarter the skills of David Foote, the way he handles the football. He was one grab, the handball to Shackey, and Shackey just exploded towards the goal front. He blazed that one through the middle. They've streamed away to 9 goals, 8-62, leading Central 5-1-31, and Andy Bennett was right. There's nothing wrong with Lawrence Shackey.
7 minutes gone, second quarter. The Eagles have kicked their 4th goal. 1 every 2 minutes. They'd love to keep this up. Coffey. Should have been recalled that bounce. It wasn't. Girdham pushes it up to Coffey. Coffey chips short. The Pryor stays over the ball. Good courage. Oh, doing it well there as well was Troy Clark. Lone Ranger. Pryor Got it out to Thomas. Thomas off the ground. Only option. Swart doing well. Robson met heavily by Girdham. That's fair. Ingerson gets it out to Gilbert McAdam. Gilbert McAdam into space. On his left foot. Goes goalward. Or to Mandemaker. Mandemaker just lost his feet and it's just a bit of bad luck. That would have been a very handy saver for the Dogs. Neil Curley really has to sit with this side at the moment. There's just not enough players willing to make any changes at all, Kim.
But how often does something like that happen, Neville, when the flow of the game is going against you, but things like that, Mandemaker falling over, like, you know, nothing seems to go right when you've got a roll against you.
No, you're right, and that kick was a floater as well, which didn't help.
We see Baker skirting the boundary line there. He brings it back into play. Oh, players hesitated for a moment. Harper didn't. He went straight through. I tell you what, there's one thing that Harper doesn't lack, and that's courage. He's got plenty of it. Shackey spears out there. Chris Lindsay! Oh, the big pencil. I tell you what, I know I'm repeating myself, but if you could bottle confidence, you'd be a squillionaire. Last season, Chris Lindsay would have not approached that football in the same fashion, Neville.
No, he wouldn't. And in the centre of the ground there, we saw West Torrens players diving on the ball, holding the ball in. They're desperate. Their confidence has grown. And the way you called that, Kim, I just see a touch of sentiment there from an old Torrens man.
Oh, no, I just want to see a good game of football. Obviously, there is a soft spot for them, but that was good play. Let's see if he finishes it off. He has. The Dogs are in huge trouble. Chris Lindsay's kicked his second. The Eagles move on to 10 goals, 8-68, giving the Dogs a caning on 5-1-31. We've had 10 minutes of the second term here at Football Park, and the action's coming to you on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Chris Lindsay, they'd be glad to have him back from North Melbourne. He's a local lad, St Michael's College. Big, tall streak of a boy, plenty of talent.
Back in the centre, Spill to do the ruck work. It went straight down to Girdham. Girdham gets a wobbly kick away. Mintington doing battle with Robson. So Athanasia's now back on Mandemaker as Robson paddles that ball forward. So Andy Bennett leaving nothing to chance, Neville, and he's made the move after Mandemaker kicked 3 in the first turn.
I thought he might have stayed with Robson, given that things had slowed down and they weren't getting as many opportunities. The pressure up the ground's a lot better, but he's made the move, and maybe he knows a lot more about what's going on there than we do. I'm sure he does. I don't know whether Kim Dillon agrees with me, though. The throw in, half-forward line for the Dogs. Ingerson over the top. And we'll have another throw in.
11.5 minutes gone in the second term. The Eagles 68 points, the Dogs 31, and they've got to get more drive out of the engine room. Players like Jamie Thomas in the centre square. He's got to start getting his hands onto the football. Chaplin, Lally, they haven't been sighted. Schwartz won't deviate off here as McGrath got over the ball as Harper tacks it over the line. Well, John Harper was picking up Jamie Thomas, who appears to be a drag from the ground, and McGrath has gone to the centre position. The ball comes down to Eichner, one of his first kicks, but he's done a good job because he's kept Philip Graham nearly kickless. Now Hannum with an opportunity. Schwert managed to tap the ball back. Buckley got it out to Bubner. He's got to get into the play. He's been moved out to centre half back to get into the action. That's his second kick. Graham gets one of his rare touches. He puts it out wide for Lally. Geyer goes back. He misread the flight of the ball, but he didn't misread that as he tapped it to Noel Long. Intercepted well. Schwartz in there, and desperate play. Gee, the adrenaline's really pumping out there for the Eagles.
Oh, it is, and good play out on the far side of the ground. The Central District player took the risk to play on. It was Lally. It's beautifully intercepted to cause a ball up. Ingerson doing the ruck work in the forward line. Noel Long. As they go down, Dale Eichner, we can call that too if we like. Against Eddie Hocking. Eddie Hocking started on the interchange bench. And there's been another move by the Dogs. Baker in there. Couldn't take it. Spiel around the corner. Bad bounce. Malcolm McGrath against Noel Long. Scott Morford. Plenty of pace. Socks down. Noel Long gives him the space. They force it forward. That's okay, but in the way. And taking a good mark is Grant Coffey.
No time for a coffee break. That's a shocking line. It goes out to Trevor Rowe. I don't know why I said that as he drives long. Setting himself there is Sullivan, but dropping in front position was Frank Spill. They just seem to be everywhere, the Eagles, as David Foote gets the handle out to the long striding Alan Schwartz. Oh, the crowd love him because he's tough. And look at the kick. He's driven it in long. The accuracy not there. Goes across the face of goal. And at the 13.5-minute mark of this second term, we'll have a throw-in in the left forward pocket, northern end for the Eagles.
Beautiful day at Football Park. And the great stadium here at Football Park. Real credit to the SANFL. Scott Lee. Goes inside. Gurdon. Beautifully intercepted by Troy Clark. Torrens playing with terrific amount of confidence at the moment. Swert battling hard. Gurdon goes back to help him. Throws the ball out. Hannum held without possession. That was very clear on your screen. And the first-year player with his 8th kick goes inside. Very accurately to Tui. Gerard Tui has 1 goal. Kick 4 last week. This is his 4th kick today. Came from Geelong in 1987. Goodbye for the Eagles. I'll love him a lot more if he kicks this. Amazing, but over the top, Lindsay. Chips inside, David Foote, play-on's the call, 2 goal. Can't do a thing wrong to the Eagles. David Foote's just kicked his 2nd goal. Torrens 11-8, 74. They lead the Dogs 5-1-31 on 9's Wide Sports.
I tell you what, when you're hot, and the Eagles are absolutely burning at the moment. The kick from Tui was a shocker. He got under it like a sandwich. It went to the right of goal. Chris Lindsay took a good mark. He passed off short to David Foote. The kick was adjudged to be not 10 metres, so Foote played on from a possible angle and banged through the goal.
Up they go. Coffey against Spill. No result. Out of it, Gurdon. Holding the ball has got to be. 1 arm gone. That's a horrible feeling. Bruce Lensley, plenty of experience, picked up the hand and just held it. Long kick to the forward line. Underneath it, David Foote. Good spoil by Scott Lee. Beautifully picked up by Trevor Rowe. Intelligent backman's play towards the line and out of bounds.
Now, I don't know if it's just my eyes but Trevor Rowe appears to be a lot more solid this season and perhaps not as nimble and as quick as what we've seen in previous years.
He might have a little bit of weight on early in the year, but it's only mid-April. Plenty of time to lose that if he has to.
Fair enough. I'd prefer to be a lot fitter at the start of the season, but that's only my opinion. The ball will go back to McGrath. Malcolm McGrath. The short pass is up high, looking for Rowe. He held his ground. And there we go. That's extra weight. Perhaps being beneficial in that passage of play. Stood his ground well. Kick number 8. The long kick. Schwartz from behind. He took the mark. Everything he touches turns to gold at the moment, Alan Schwartz. And there's a pass with pinpoint accuracy out to Bruce Lindsay. Kick number 6. He's kicked 2 goals. He's looking for Shackey over the head of that player. The ball comes back to Trevor Rowe, who'll need support as Noel Long pushes him towards the boundary. The ball came out to McGrath, very close to the boundary line, and we'll have a throw-in on that outer side. 17 minutes gone. The Eagles 74 points, showing the Dogs a clean pair of heels. They're on 31 points.
Andy Bennett doing something right down in Eagle land. Ashley Street will be alive if they can keep this form up. He's a popular boy. Gurdon. Roger Gurdon, 83 McCullum medalist, with his 4th kick. Puts it down to the wing. Sullivan underneath. Schwartz again. Almost went out of the stadium. It was that high. Beautiful mark taken by Coffey. Plays on through the centre of the ground. Very dangerous. Harper read it better than anybody else. Takes a nice mark. Plays on. Bruce Lindsay with the ball. He'll use it. His target's Lindsay. Over the top. Had him. Oh, he's been paid. What a young talent this boy is. Free kick to Morfitt, but doesn't detract from the fact, in a pure bit of play, Hannum's mark was just superb. He's limping outside of our screen at the moment, and the action's with Morfitt. With his 8th kick, kicks his 1st goal. The Eagles 12th on 9's Wide Sports.
Well, they're just constantly attacking the Eagles. They have the numbers at the fall of the ball. They drove that in long. Hannum was completely out of position. They've kicked 7 goals this quarter, the Eagles, and that mark of Hannam was a beauty. It wasn't paid because Morfitt was infringed against. Enate made no mistake and put it through, but they've just got good players all over the ground.
Andy Bennett. Oh, he said something. We're looking to describe how happy he would be, I think, at the moment. 5 goals first quarter, Centrals. No score second quarter. Wouldn't be happy with that. Only kicked 1 goal, 2 in the second and third quarters Monday night. Eichner back towards the centre of the ground. McGrath high. Still at it. Oh, had his head pulled off. As young Lally plays on. The run by Scott Lee. Handball to or Swert it was. Handball to McGrath. He just wasn't looking. Just no confidence with Dogs. Even play. Argent will ball up.
And Neville behind play, we see Shane McGrath has damaged that shoulder again. He's had a history of shoulder injuries. He did it at Hawthorn. It was either broken or dislocated there, and it's just a shame. He's coming off now. Every time he goes to the ball with an outstretched arm and he receives a nasty knock, he just loses all strength in it, and he's coming off holding his arm badly. Stephen Schwartz caught with the football, and Laurie Argent says, "I'm sorry, son, you've been caught holding the ball." The free kick will go the way of Troy Clark. Possesses a heap of class, Troy Clark. Being shaded by Gilbert McAdam today, but it's still kick number 7 for the youngster, the former Queensland Till Cup player. Oh, look at that for a kick. It's dead straight as the distance there. Not quite. As Bubner flies across the front of the pack and puts it through for a point.
Bennett making a couple of changes. Daryl Smith's come on to replace Noel Long. And Shane McGrath, of course, has been forced off the ground with a bad shoulder. Jeff Graham on in his place. Buckley pushes the ball forward for the Dogs. First to it, new player on the ground, Jeff Graham. Can't control it. Tui in there. There's Shane McGrath. Very big upper body player. And you would think that with that muscle structure, that shoulder might be able to hold together. But he put himself in pretty recklessly, and you've got an injury problem like that. I guess you've got to be more self-preserved, but not to worry. He's done his job today so far. David Foote with it after a good bit of play from Bruce Lindsay. Forward they go. Chris Lindsay couldn't take it. In fact, he spoiled it away. Malcolm McGrath. Good trick in football if you stand still. Often no one will come at you. 23 was Mitchington. Lally caught. Gilbert McAdam throws the ball down. All they needed to do was grab him. It would have been holding the ball. Lally, West Torrens players putting plenty of pressure on. Girdham through the centre of the ground is dangerous, and that's why it's dangerous. Just got to be on. Troy Clark, chip short. And there's Hannam. Took a great catch before, hurt his ankle. Seems to be all right at the moment. And Kim, how many times do we call that play where players recklessly go through the centre of the ground and they pay the price? And this is it, a shot for a goal.
Yeah, as we've mentioned, nothing the Dogs are doing at the moment is turning out right, and Hannam could really make him pay the penalty here. He splits the set. Oh, no, it hasn't. It just drifted away with his 10th kick, and Neil Curley's trying a few things, Neville. He's thrown Hocking onto the ground, and he needs someone to ignite them around that centre square. They're just not getting the ball out of the middle.
No confidence, no one supporting, no one talking. 8-4 out of the centre by West Torrens, of course, taking everything before them. Over the top, Graham couldn't hold it. Off the ground. Trevor Rowe gives it back to Gilbert McAdam. They're really trying to do something with the ball. Graham caught with it. Scott Lee running around in circles. Had to get around Laurie Argent as well then. That's how unpredictably they're playing. Tui. Went to ground. Hocking. A bouncing ball, as Graham Campbell likes to call him. I won't call him that though. Forward he goes. Oh, big pack of players in the back against Schwartz, I believe. Mandemaker. 3 goals to his credit already. With the ball. There's Neil Curley. He'll want darker glasses than that when he leaves footy park tonight, though. Things not going well for the King. What a great player and personality he's been over many, many years in South Australia, though. He's been down before. He'll get back up. Mandemaker, though, he might spark them towards goal. Little offline. 1 point only will be the call. Bruce Lindsay does the crumbing. And Mandemaker really had to overstretch his leg there then.
Alan Schwartz brings the ball back in with a short pass to Bruce Lindsay. Tried to get onto a top. He's still got good distance with it, but it went straight into the waiting arms of Schwert. Schwert looking for some port. He drops in a short pass and finds Bubner. Good courage by Harper, but Bubner stood his ground. And I'd be very tempted. He may be on the ball now, but I'd be tempted to throw him into the ruck. Kick number 3. Mandemaker up high. Couldn't take it. Had hands to the football. Players dive on top there. Robson in there, fighting it out with Rudy. And gives the ball back to the umpires. A real gentleman, Lee Robson. And there'll be a bounce about 45 metres out from the central goal. Ingerson up high. He's got a great leap, Ingerson. Put it straight down the throat of Robson. He puts it up high. Pryor underneath that and takes a good chest mark. Thought about playing on. Would have been extremely unwise. Loose checking. Gurdon by himself, centre field. The handball out to Bubner. Starting to come into the action. He got around Bruce Lindsay. The handball over towards Lally. Lally will kick this. Oh, he's hit the post. Well, to say they needed that would be a gross understatement. We're into time on, and the Dogs, they have not kicked a goal this quarter.
First score this quarter, 1 point only. And if they go scoreless this quarter, that'll be 1 goal and 3 quarters of football in 2 weeks. The Eagles, Shaki took back position, was playing in front for the first quarter and a half. Pryor. Harper punches it down. Maybe he should have grabbed it. Trying to do things a bit confidently now. Darryl Smith replaced Noel Long. He was off the ground. Scott Morford waits for everyone to run over it. Chips it back high to the square. Looking for a big catch. No one can. Sullivan. Even that handball you could see was to ground. Had to rely on a good bounce to get it up to Buckley. Made him wait for it. He was descended on by 3 or 4 Torrens players. Absolutely mauled. Spill. Caught in the pocket. Right up against the slip and save point post. And we'll have another ball up.
A minute gone of time on in this second term. The Eagles 82 points, the Dogs 33. They're getting a hiding at the moment. Spill tapped that back to Botker. Went straight through Gurdon. And eventually over the bounce. In fact, the umpires called for a bounce just prior to that ball going over the line. So I would say he'd come in a few metres. Nothing more embarrassing than bouncing that ball and have it go over the line. He handled the pressure well. Spill taps it forward. Tui punches it towards the goal. And a point results. 83 plays 33. You don't have to be a genius to work out that the Eagles are 50 points in front and that the Dogs are in big trouble.
Peter Krieg not playing, their captain. It's they're lacking a bit of leadership out there. Maybe that would have helped. But something's very wrong with Elizabeth. There's no confidence at all there at the moment. Squirt caught by Baker. Pryor just quickly to boot through the centre of the ground. You guess who's going to get it? It's a West Torrens player. Lindsay. Off he goes, Bruce Lindsay, very quickly. Harper will be run down. Oh, but just a little bit too anxious was Gurdon on that occasion. Couldn't get to the side of Harper. And there's a free kick. John Harper. 45 metres out. It'll want his best leg. The angle, not a problem. Runs across, which indicates he wants a bit of distance. Coming back, will be close, not quite. Buckley over the line, 1 point only, 12-12-84. They lead the Dogs 5-3-33 on Nine's Wide Water Sports.
There's been 7 goals kicked in this second quarter, and they've all been kicked by the Eagles. We should have about 4 minutes of time on, I would say. The ball on the outer side to Malcolm McGrath. His short pass to the little pocket rocket and little Eddie Hocking. He chips that one and puts it back and finds Gurdon. He shrugs the tackle back towards Hocking. Now he's got to drive it in long out to Mandemaker. He does just that, but he puts it out wider and finds Ingerson. It was more direct football. And Anthony Ingerson is a very good left foot kick. And I would suggest that even into this slight breeze, he should get the distance here. By crikey, don't they need it? Kick number 4. He's been absolutely hammered by Schwartz this afternoon. It's very close to the man on the mark. And the distance was not a problem, but the accuracy was.
Plenty of points kicked in the reserves. I suppose Central at the moment would like to have enough shots to goal to kick a few more points. Just not getting any opportunities at all. Credit of that goes to Torrens' defence. Schwartz has been absolutely unbeatable. Baker's been pretty solid. Robson was beaten early, but now looking good. Sullivan thinks about going on with it, but doesn't. That's smart. Morford concedes 15 metres. Sullivan doesn't wait for it. Gilbert McAdams his target. That's completed well. Mandemaker's got to be next on the list. He is. Forward he comes. Out under the ball. Sun in his eyes, couldn't complete it. Jared Tui defensively towards the boundary line. Mandemaker always fights hard on the ground. Give him credit for that. Scott Lee puts it across. Philip Graham's his target. Can't quite take it. Bubner there. Lally pushes it out. Mandemaker. Philip Graham again, left foot. Oh, they'd want this one. It's not to be. In the way, Chris Lindsay.
And there's the siren to end the second term. A very good quarter of football for the Eagles. They're on 12-12-84, leading the Dogs 5-4-34, and that's a margin of 50 points. Second half underway here at Football Park, and the Eagles lead by 50 points. They gave the Dogs a caning in that second term, kicking 7 goals, and the Dogs couldn't manage one. The ball comes out to Pryor. He feeds it out to Sullivan, playing in defence now after starting on a half-forward flank. Crashing his way through is Troy Clark. He gets the left foot kick away, out in the direction of Daryl Smith. Buckley gets a push in the back. Play-on's the call. The sweeping handball comes out to Lindsay. He's kicked 2. Make it 3. What a golden start to the Eagles.
Well, they've just continued on, the Eagles. But unfortunately, Bruce Lindsay just a little offline. But, gee, they're in possession of the ball, looking very, very good. From behind, Coffey hasn't been a bad player for the Eagles. Got his hand to plenty of taps. Goes to half forward. Swart. What a great player he was in the first 2 quarters. He'll be wanting to go on with that. Absolutely nothing got past him in 2 quarters of football. 14 touches he had.
I must apologise, Neville. I really thought that went through. I was watching Chris Lindsay, and he was applauding Bruce Lindsay's kick, and obviously trying to con the umpire, but he conned me instead.
Well, that doesn't happen very often, Kim. One of the most astute around in football commentating. Every now and then we just get a little fooled by what happens. Great shot of Frank Spiel as he comes in.
Frank looking pretty mean and hungry. The tap comes out from Chaplin. Foot in there. Jamie Thomas is back onto the ground after he was taken off in that second term. Schwartz streams out of defence. A handball to Troy Clark. The ball put in front of David Foote. It sits up nicely for him. The long raking drop punt pass looking for Chris Lindsay. Couldn't take it. Good spoil in defence by the Dogs. Buckley now with the football. Has Coffey wide. Ignores that lead. Hooks it back around his body. And Troy Clark with front position takes the mark. Could have been 15 there. Well played Roger Girdham. He took him to ground. Kick number 10. Certainly came back into the game strongly in that second term, but the Eagles had the flow of play. Scott Lee. 87 best and fairest winner. The handball out to Chaplin. His kick is long to McAdam. Guy with the spoil. Lee Robson kicks the ball forward. Frank Spiel, the handball out towards Eichner. His kick is high. He's done a good job on Philip Grant. Bruce Lindsay! Oh, against the tide. Nearly took a magical mark. The crumbs are picked up by David Foote. He spears out a pass looking for Shaki or Tui. Tui first there. The handball back to Smith. Crashes his way through. Gets it back to Tui. He's looking for someone to give it to. Look for Hannum. He couldn't take it. Off the ground there was Sullivan. Over the top there was Graham. Play on the call. Desperate defensive play by the Dogs. Now Trevor Rowe gets a kick to McGrath, who was in the hands with the trainers at the time.
Out of defence they go. Gilbert McAdam couldn't quite complete the mark. Comes back though. Ball stolen from him. Well done by Schwartz. Lindsay always likes to use it. Chips it over to Scott Morford. Just not good enough with those tackles. Two central players there really should have made that tackle. High to the square. Botka, great one out. Mark, oh, he's given a free kick away. Well, Botka was holding his jumper, I've been told. I didn't see it myself. I'm surrounded by West Torrens baggers here, so I don't know whether I can believe all this, but David Mackay assures me, who's in the box with us now, that happened. Bad luck for Botka. Has to do a lot to try and contain Lindsay. He has one goal. In fact, he has 2 goals, both in the second quarter. Only 5 metres out. Should be a snack. Here it is. The Eagles continue on 9's Wide Water Sports.
Well, Neville Roberts called that very well prior to Chris Lindsay getting that opportunity. The fact that Scott Morford dropped an easy mark and then shrugged off 2 very soft tackles by the central defenders and was able to put that ball up high. And Chris Lindsay went one-on-one with Botka. Botka was conceding inches, so he resorted to, well, for the use of a better word, foul play, and he was spotted by the umpire.
4 minutes gone, third quarter. Torrens away with a great start. Kicked the first goal of the quarter. The Dogs could only manage 1 point in that second quarter. Frank Spiel. Playing great football for the Eagles. Coffey got the knock away though. Ingerson on his hands and knees. Scott Lee pushes it forward. Scott Morford intercepts. Nice chip for Troy Clark. Tries to overuse the ball a little bit. Shane McGrath probably should have got out on a longer lead to give him the room to sit the ball up. Harold Smith giving a free kick away there. And that'll go to David Buckley.
Buckley on the half-back line. 5 minutes gone of this third term. 91 plays 34. Ingerson couldn't take the mark. Tui picked up the crumbs, fed it out towards Eichner, who drives the ball forward. It's a race for pace as Pryor gets there first, being harassed by Hannum. He's got great acceleration, Pryor, for a man in his senior years as far as footballers are concerned. And Eichner pinpoints a pass out to Tui. His confidence growing as the game progresses. It's a wobbly kick. Lindsay to meet in the sandwich, but the ball goes over the head of him and McGrath, and the mark's taken by Stephen Schwert, the direct opponent of Bruce Lindsay. Centres the ball. Troy Clark front position. Ingerson from behind. Couldn't control it. Morford with a great give out towards Geyer. Geyer's kick is over the head of Smith and Buckley. It's picked up cleanly by Shackey. Shackey back to Morford. Morford under no pressure. Drives a wobbly one forward. Chris Lindsay tried to take a chest mark. He's first to recover. Sucked off the ground by David Foote. And Foote kicks his third goal. And the Eagles are absolutely slaughtering the Bulldogs here at Football Park.
Keep pushing the ball forward as often as they do. Create opportunities. Get your runners up under the play. And there must be a chance to score. There's been players like David Foote, Scott Morford, Steve Geyer, those sort of players who have provided all the run on that occasion. Great contest by Chris Lindsay, well crumbed by David Foote.
Centre field once more. Spill with the tap down to Morford, who pushed that ball forward only moments ago. Underneath it, Trevor Rowe. He takes a good chest mark running in the wrong direction. It's been called to play on. Graham harasses. The ball comes out to Girdham. The acting captain for the Dogs skirts around onto his right boot. It's very indirect and it's a high kick on the outer side. Baker with the spoil. Crashing his way through was Chaplin. Now the ball is brought in by Pryor. Back there is Mandemaker. And the ball is eventually taken over the line. And it's no fault of Mandemaker's, Neville, that he's only kicked those 3 goals in the first term. He's been starved of opportunities since that first quarter.
Certainly has. He proved very early that if they could control the ball up forward and keep their hands on it, or down the ground at least, coming into the forward line, that he would provide the lead. He would get out and make himself a focal point. That just hasn't happened, and really he hasn't been able to do anything at all. Lawrence Shackey with the ball. Poor kick towards the forward line, but David Foote interfered with on that occasion by Malcolm McGrath. Free kick. Just forward to centre wing. And the forwards facing the sun. To be his 12th kick. He'll push it in high to Chris Lindsay. But reading it a lot better than anybody else, Gilbert McAdam. Play on was the call. It must have been touched. Schwert was the target. The chipping in was Scott Lee. Goes on to Lally. Good evasive work. Pushes himself to the left foot. On a lead, Bubner. Just not their day. How often do you see Bubner put those down? State player, champion for Central District. Just an easy mark. Really no excuse. We should be more critical of it. Free kick to Robson, plus a 15-metre penalty. He gives the ball over to Aichner. Good spoil by Philip Graham. At least they're keeping at it, and maybe they can turn things around.
8.5 minutes gone. And that was a atrocious mistake by Peter Bubner. Harper knocks that over the top. It's taken by Tui. Didn't have the acceleration to get away. McAdam swoops on the loose ball. The handball comes back now towards Scott Lee. Oh, he's in big trouble. He was caught. The umpire was kind then. Now the ball comes to Lally. He shrugs off 2 tackles. Oh, great work. Great evasive play by Lally as he puts it down to Mandemaker. Athanasia hasn't had a goal kicked on him by Mandemaker yet. The ball socket off the ground. Schwartz came in to lend support and placed that one out of bounds on the full.
Well, Bruce Lindsay kicked a goal like this in the first quarter. A bit closer, in fact. This will be his 6th kick. Let's ride it with him. Be a great goal if he can get it. Oh, it's going to go very, very close. Top of the square, over the top, comes Spiel and saves the day.
9.5 minutes gone, 97 plays 36. If the Eagles continue in this vein, it's going to be a very handy percentage booster this game, and no one would have predicted this prior to the start of, prior to 2:20. David Foote, the handball over the top to the running Troy Clark, who sets up the loose player in Harper. Let's see if he can use the football. He's not normally the most reliable kick on the run. He's had 2 bounces. That's a better one off the boot, but it goes over the head of the players he's looking for. Daryl Smith picks up the crumb. It's an intelligent low kick. He's kicked the goal while it ran 15 metres on the ground. The accuracy was never going to be a problem, and West Torrens are looking very good as Daryl Smith posts his first goal.
Started on the interchange bench. Daryl Smith came on halfway through that second quarter to replace Noel Long, and he'd be very happy with that effort. It's been a long road for himself and for Shaki from Unley to Theberton, but both of them performing well.
And Daryl Smith with a new hairdo to start the season. He's got those golden locks nice and curly now as Gurdon puts the ball forward, and the mark's been taken by Jamie Thomas, who's been very quiet. It's his 5th kick, in fact, and that's not very good by his standards. Schwartz once more. He's been a real star. Tough as they come in defence. The ball out to David Foote, who's just got better as the game's gone on. So too is this man in Morfitt. The handball came out towards Smith. He had a fumble, had time to recover, but it was intercepted by Buckley. Yes, it was well done, Buckley. He puts it out wide and he finds Lally. Boy from the west, kick number 6. That's another player that's down. Like Lally's normally finds a lot of the football. Scott Lee working hard. Has time now to drive it in. Mandemaker has to sit. Bubner's there. One of them has to take it, and it's Mandemaker. Big Rudy has kicked 3. They were all in the first quarter. There shouldn't be any problems posting his 4th. They had to sit then, the Dogs. Bubner was at the front. Mandemaker behind. Athanasia in the middle. The odds were stacked against him. Mandemaker took it without any problems, and he has now posted the Dogs 6 goal. They move on to 6-6-42, trailing the Dogs 15-13, 103.
Well, the Dogs, a bit of a spark of life there. Nothing to get too overconfident about, naturally enough. Things pretty desperate for the Dogs. First Foundation Cup game against North Adelaide to start the season. They were absolutely pounded. They had a repeat of that last Monday night. And Neil Curley, with not too much of a talent change from what he started with at Elizabeth, seems to have lost something. And when confidence goes in a club, it really does come back to the coach to guide them and coordinate them out of it. Maybe that's a bit too much responsibility to put on just one person. Somebody on that ground in a red, blue and white jumper really needs to take the initiative and make something happen.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the players they've lost. They've only really lost Derek Kickett and Richard Lounder, and Hanley went to St Kilda, but there's a fair chance he'll be back. But more importantly, Greg Smith is out injured. So too is Peter Krieg, and the late withdrawal of Braddy. That's not taking anything away from the Eagles as Tui goes forward. He puts it up high. Looking there for Graham, and Graham, David Footer takes a great mark. He gives it to the skipper. He's tucked away on that impossible Eagle. That doesn't bother Bruce Lindsay. He puts it right through. That's his third goal. And I tell you, I don't care what angle you're on. When you're a class player like that, it certainly gives you a big advantage.
Certainly does, Kim. In contrast, though, if a Central District player was in that position then, he would have been tentative, unconfident. But the way they're playing, Bruce Lindsay just approached that. Although Bruce Lindsay approaches most things confidently, all Torrens players now would approach the goals with a heap of confidence, let fly, and when you're relaxed like that, often you succeed.
If they continue in this vein, they could end up winning this game by 20 goals, and that's going to do wonders for their percentage. The ball comes out to Tui. They can do no wrong. They are in total control. I really can't see Central stemming the flow of this Eagles side at the moment. As Schwert goes forward, gets it out to McAdam. McAdam in turn to Girdham. Girdham goes over the top to Coffey. Coffey, who started off the first term quite well, now drives it in long. Back there was Athanasia, picked up by Robson. He sold the dummy. Everyone's having a go now and getting into the action. Unfortunately for Lethal Lee, he's kicked the ball out on the full. Jared Tui having problems with the shoulder. He's had a history of injuries since coming over from Geelong. Of course, younger brother of Bernard, who plays for the Sydney Swans.
Trevor Rowe pushes the ball in towards full forward. Mandemaker couldn't take it. Philip Graham, left foot snap towards goal. A good shot at goal. That's home. That's his first. The Dogs 7th on 9's Wide World of Sports.
Well, one of the rare possessions for Philip Graham. He's only managed 5 kicks for the day. He's been well shadowed by Dale Eichner this afternoon. In fact, he's been well beaten by that player. But that really doesn't even put respectability back into the scoreboard yet, Neville. They're only 7 goals opposed to 16, and I think they're going to have about an 8 or 10 goal quarter to even look good on the scoreboard.
I agree with you, Kim. And maybe Torrens are trying to reverse what happened in 1988 when at Elizabeth on the 30th of April. It would have been this round. The Dogs beat Torrens by something like 198 points. Back with play. Chaplin. Great play, Lindsay. Just didn't fall for that. Bounce goes against Graham. First to it was David Foote. Pushes it forward with his foot. Stays in, but not quite out of bounds. Half-back flank. Schwartz just walking across the camera there. David Foote in it. And there's a serious, but no doubt very, very satisfied Andy Bennett.
Yeah, and we talk of players and late withdrawals and whatever. Let's not forget that Andrew Plays pulled out of this game at the last moment. We believe it was with a crook ankle. And throw him into this side if you can fit him in today. And that even strengthens the Eagles side. And Bob Enright in the reserves. And the Eagles are shaping up pretty well for 89 as Morford goes forward once more. The kick is wide and the mark's been taken by Botka. Wasn't well placed. Frank was behind all the way. And Botka took that quite easily. Eddie Hocking onto the ground at the expense of Chaplin. The Curly's made another move. Chaplin will be a tired boy. He's played 3 games in 8 days. As I mentioned earlier, he had to play in the reserves last Saturday, and he was required to play Monday night against North Adelaide. And that's another reason why Central may not appear as sharp. They've missed out on 2 days recovery time. But I really think we're searching for excuses. They've been completely outpointed this afternoon.
Well, if they're fair excuses, Kim, I think we can offer them in defence of the Dogs, but quite clearly can't take anything away from the performance. A very, very, very competent West Torrens at the moment. Troy Clark on his left foot, goes forward, Lawrence Shackey. Good tackle on Coffey, play on's the call and rightly so. Lindsay scoops it up, gives it to Hannum. What a talent this kid is. Goes towards goal, just wouldn't be fair if you kick that. Those sort of things happens on days when you're really up. 17-minute mark. Torrens 16-14, 1-1-0. Annihilating Central District 7-6-48.
Botka brought it back to the grandstand side. He decided to change tack, but he found the waiting arms of Jeff Graham, who drops in a short pass and finds Jared Toohey. Toohey took that well. It was a wobbly ball. His eyes were facing the sun. He's now called to play on. He puts it up high. Frank takes front position. He's opposed to 3 other people. Smith went through, couldn't take it. The kick by Schwert goes out of bounds on the full, and it'll be taken by Jared Toohey. And I doubt whether he'll have a shot here, Neville. Let's just see how well the Bulldog defence man up.
When you're up, Kim, you're up. Graham Campbell, pocket isn't the place to do it from. He kicks to Hannum, but not much better position.
No, he's opened up the face of goal by about 10 degrees. Now they go for about another 50, and they've done it well. That's poor checking by Central, and I would have liked to have seen a shot of Neil Curley then, because crikey, he couldn't be happy with that. Like, it was so obvious they were going to try and centre the ball. They did it twice.
It was a very good kick, Kim, by young Hannum. Well placed.
Kick number 9 for John Harper. And he can't get amongst the goals at this stage. He's offline. The Eagles 16-15, leading the Dogs 7-6.
Not a lot of joy for Neil Curley. Not really happy with any of this. Been coaching since 1961. Only had a break for a short time. 85, 86 and 87 for the America's Cup. Of course, last year was a reasonable year for him. And we wonder what's going on right now. Schwert with the ball. Or Rowe it is. Trevor Rowe. Able to pick him. Philip Graham. Left foot towards Mandemaker. Mandemaker playing for the free kick is just very bad football. Left the recovery to other people. Mandemaker suggesting that possibly he should have had a free kick. That wasn't on. Nothing changes. We'll have a throw in forward pocket for the Dogs.
Gilbert McAdam was moved to the centre the start of this quarter, or possibly very late in the second, and it seems to not find the action quite as well as that snapshot from Rudy goes around his body through for a point. And Neville, that's often the case when a guy's so creative on the wing, but he's been thrown in the middle, and he really hasn't been in any of the action at all.
Playing in the middle is difficult if you're not used to it. Playing on a wing is just a little bit different. So you've really got to draw the football if you're in the centre of the ground. You've got to be the playmaker, and you can't just attack. You've got to know when to defend as well. Girdham does it well, tries to give Ingerson the opportunity. West Torrens will have none of it. And David Foot very intelligently pushes towards the boundary line.
And there's Neil Curley and Dean Mobbs. They both got their glasses on now, and Curls is on the phone. And I think it's either 24 or 26 seasons Neil Curley has coached, and if my facts are right, it's 26, and I think in 16 times he's got the sides into the final series. So it's not a bad effort, but he's going to be too zipped down at this stage unless they could produce a miracle here as the ball goes over the boundary line. Well beaten by North Adelaide last week. On the other hand, the Eagles beat South Adelaide 20-11 to 16-12, where the Panthers kicked 7 in the final term. Throw in left forward pocket. Ingerson takes front position. The ball comes down to Geyer. He paddles it around another 5 metres, and we'll have a take 2 by the boundary umpire.
Chris Lindsay. Ingerson with him. Once again, out of bounds. 111 plays 49. 22 minutes gone. Third quarter. And there's the Eagles to goal hanging there very proudly by some supporters. West Torrens supporter, obviously. But been a great day. Great day weather-wise. I think Neil Curley would agree with me. It was been a great day otherwise. Chris Lindsay and ruck against Ingerson. Centre half forward and doing the ruck work is hard work. Bruce Lindsay lets a torpedo punt go towards Shackey. Shackey recovers quickly. That's very good football to Hannum. Hannum, beautiful touch towards Smith. Smith runs the ball out of bounds, almost kept it in. Clever attempt, but David Buckley foils that. We'll have a throw in half forward line for the Eagles.
The presence of mind of Lawrence Shackey to Neville was nothing short of brilliant. He was surrounded by Central players, yet he was in total control of the situation as he fed that handball out to Hannum. He's doing the ruck work now. He laid it off down to Girdham. Girdham gets the handball to Coffey. Couldn't take, but he taps it out towards Hocking and misses the waiting arms of that player, and once more there'll be a throw-in. We are 2 minutes away from time on. 111 plays 49. If the Dogs were going to have any hope at all, it had to be in this third term. They had to launch some form of comeback, and they haven't been capable of doing it. An extremely good performance by the Eagles. Jeff Jeans. The tap one by Coffey, out to Rowe, thought about the handball, now it goes over the top to Philip Graham. He straightens the body, drives it in long. Mandemaker's his target. Oh, the loose ball behind, who'll be there first? Gaia leads in the chase, he paddles it towards goals, and with this handy lead, he's quite happy to concede the point.
Eagle supporters enjoying today. Andy Bennett's done something special at West Torrens. Air of confidence at the club. Athanasia to Foot, now to Lindsay. Tries to use the ball to morph it. Squirt with him, close. Troy Clark waiting to receive. I suggest you go and help, young fella. Chips around the corner. David Foot's the target. Beautifully taken. On to Lindsay. Great football, the Eagles. Just no pressure at all from Centrals now. 14th kick towards Shackey. Can't take it. Smith to Spiel. Off the grounds to go. Can't quite get there. Well done, Botka, fighting hard. Tui comes in, tries to steal it. Can't do that. The bouncing ball. Here he comes. Towards Coffey. Stolen by Lindsay. Back towards goal. Going the wrong way. Shackey, great mark! 5 marks. 2 goals. 12th kick. 10 metres out. Particularly good mark. Going the wrong way. Plenty of confidence. As Tui comes off. For Noel Long. Long and Shackey gets another goal for the Eagles on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Well, Chris Lindsay took that mark. Well, he made it look easy. He saw that he'd caught his opponent off guard, so he played on quickly. It was a wobbly kick forward. It wasn't one of his better kicks, but that's the advantage of getting the ball in quickly. Shackey had to take that ball running the wrong way. He made it look easy. He posted his 3rd goal. 17-15 plays 7-8. I won't say the Eagles are looking very good because that's very obvious.
Chris Lindsay will do battle against Grant Coffey. Coffey been single-handed in the ruck today, other than when Ingerson's helped him in the forward line. Ingerson there just gave the ball to Foot. How much more help do the Eagles need? Lindsay, well foiled by Stewart. Stewart towards the boundary line, surrounded by Torrens players. David Buckley sits inside, waiting for the kick, and clearly upset by that. The goal umpire, or at least the boundary umpire, has to go and gather the ball. Won't be long before there'll be a report for that. Throwing the ball away. Everything else reportable. In ruck, Shackey, Coffey, over the top, Bubner. Buckley, late replacement for Brady. With it now, Morfitt pushes it forward, in the way, and holding up proceedings is Scotland.
Lee with his 7th kick puts it out looking for Trevor Rowe over the head of that player. McGrath gets a push in the back. Laurie Argent couldn't see that as the sun was in his eyes. I think the free kick was there. It's history now. Sullivan couldn't take it. Harper tried to tap it forward. McAdam goes out the back door. Well, great feel as he knew Lee was there. He got it over that play. It was too slow as Robson ran him down. Jeff Graham goes through like a tank. Girdham in there. Well tackled by David Foot. Eddie Hocking gets the ball out to Bubner. He lopes off with that powerful stride, and he finds Mandemaker, but he couldn't hold it. Gaia in there, working against Jamie Thomas. Gaia keeps his body over the football. Look at Rudy. He's still trying, but the Eagles have the numbers there. Mandemaker dives in there, but he didn't find the football. Now it's taken by McGrath. The handball back away from Trevor Rowe. Harper there. Desperate work by Girdham. Out towards McAdam. Let's see if they can use it. Phil Graham wants it. Now it's Mandemaker, stands his ground. He's missed that one too, but it was good defence by the Eagles. Now the ball comes out to David Foot. Concedes 10 metres with a handball back to Keith Baker. He puts it out in the open spaces for Troy Clark.
Great defensive work by the Eagles. Troy Clark held without possession. He'll be free kick. That's against Pryor. He goes on, caught with a ball to ground. Hannum. Oh, equivocal action. Caught now, though. Holding the ball. First thought. And Mark Pryor is having a rest. Just happened to pick Mark Hannum to have a rest on.
Neville, he did everything right then, Hannum. He balked, he did it well, and he really should have given it when the opportunity was there.
Couldn't agree with you more, Kim. First thought's always the best one in football. You'll always pay the price for hesitating. Most times when you've got possession of the ball and the players ahead of you can read you, they'll go to the most obvious action for you, which means that most of the players forward of Hannum then would have actually made their play. So even if he had got around, he probably would have been faced with no one to kick to, or everyone out of position. But nonetheless, Bubner, fifth kick, and goal on 9 wide World of Sports.
Well, as we mentioned, young Hannum's played well, but he'll learn from that. Just tried to do a little too much, and that piece of poor play out there when he just held onto the ball a little too long, gave Central the opportunity to go into attack. The ball ended up with Bubner. He's one of the best kicks in the game, and that economical kicking action steered that ball right through the middle. 4 minutes of time on, already gone.
Chris Lindsay and Coffey on this occasion. Ingerson, beautifully taken. Now he wants to give the ball up. He handballed to Graham on that occasion. As said before, these West Torrens players, all they're going to do is ask for it and they'll get it. Mark Pryor, he won't give it back to a West Torrens player. You can bet on that. Been around far too long to make those mistakes. Lally knocks it forward. Mandemaker, always under a lot of pressure from the crowd. Steadies beautifully, and that is good football to Malcolm McGrath. Well done, Rudy Mandemaker. Really making an effort now to try and make something happen in that forward line. 9 kicks, Mandemaker. 4 goals, 3 in the first quarter, 1 in the third. And Malcolm McGrath coming in for his 4th kick, 25 metres out. No angle, no wind. On the siren, he's offline, which takes the score 17-15. Oh, I make a mistake. Correction. 9 goals, 8, 62 the Dogs. They trail West Torrens 17-15, 1-1-7 at 3/4 time. Football Park here on 9's Wide World of Sports. .55 advantage to the Eagles. Last quarter. What a great day for the Eagles. Spearland ruck, couldn't control it. Morford off the ground, free kick though. Go to Girdham. 23 touches to Girdham. He hasn't been their worst. Goes to McGrath, couldn't take it. Strongly through was Baker, couldn't crash his way out of it. Ball on the ground, will have a throw up.
27 seconds gone in this final term. And as Neville mentioned, the Eagles lead by 55 points. So the Dogs are going to have to kick at least 10 goals and keep the Eagles scoreless if they are to reverse what looks an inevitable result. Troy Clark paddles the ball forward, tried to tap it out. There was no support there. He's won a free kick though. And, well, that's the advantage of front position. You're not going to get those kicks from behind. Kick number 14. The wobbly one forward. Bruce Lindsay out the front, couldn't get a second bite at it. The crumbs are picked up by Morford though. He kicks long to Lindsay from behind, who lost front position, long over the top of that. On hands and knees, the ball tapped out towards Sullivan. Sullivan thought about using Thomas, now does so. Thomas has been very quiet, now playing in defence, drives long. Schwartz couldn't take it. Only 6 kicks for Jamie Thomas. Ingerson in there, he's been given a hiding by Schwartz. Troy Clark, the Torrens players are fighting each other for the football. Such is their ferocity on the attack for the ball. Neville, Anthony Ingerson's only had 4 kicks, and it's a bad sign for the Dogs when you haven't got a focal point up forward.
Well, it is. Playing at centre-half forward is very difficult on the best occasions. If the ball's not coming in well, it makes it even harder. But there's no doubt, as we talk about the man, 15 touches, Alan Schwartz, 15th kick. But David Foote took that off him. He goes forward. Long to Robson, back to Long, forward they go. Smith to go. Should have any trouble with that. It's His second goal on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Well, I'd hate to be a defender for the Dogs today because they have been continually bombarded from the start of that second term. Well, in fact, all day, really. Torrens have been totally persistent. And just through sheer weight of numbers and the amount of attacks they've had, it's made it very hard for the defence of Central. And consequently, there's numerous players. It's ended up with numerous players kicking goals for the Eagles today.
Spiel in ruck against Coffey. Well, Grant Coffey, he must be tired, been doing it all day. Grant Spiel gets the knock. Hannum over the top of the ball against Pryor. Scott Lee stays over the top of the ball. Gets it off the ground towards the wing. Troy Clark. Beautiful piece of evasion against Swirt, the full forward. Up high was Shack, he couldn't take it. Still in there fighting. Grant Coffey as well. With it now long, chips back to the centre of the ground and finds Lawrence Shackey. And down behind plate. There's Mark Hannum. He's being attended by his captain and by a trainer. More attention than that you don't really need. Lawrence Shackey's got 3 goals already. This will be his 13th kick. He's 20 metres from goal. That's his 4th. And Torrens 19th. On Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Well, Shackey's kicked a goal in every term. One in the first, second, third and fourth. It's pretty consistent. He kicked 4 last week. Obviously, if he's kicked one every quarter, it's been in the first, second and third and fourth. But he kicked 4 last week. He's kicked 4 today, and it's a luxury. It's a rarity to have a centre-half forward that can produce that type of form.
Yeah, we interviewed Bruce Lindsay before the game, and he talked very highly of Lawrence Shackey. They're relying on him this year. They really haven't got a replacement at centre-half forward that can do what he can do. McGrath obviously is a chance, but great player Shackey for the Eagles today. Schwartz again, out towards Rowe and Schwartz. Schwartz really shouldn't be able to beat Trevor Rowe to the ball. Did that magnificently and gets the applause of the crowd. Sullivan just chips it over to Lee. Lee around the body, goes back. Sullivan there as well. As Torrens fighting hard, but the ball will be held in. Bruce Lindsay in your screen. And there's Ian Hannah, affectionately known as Scruff, potato farmer with a neck brace, and we've all read about that unfortunate injury. Lucky to be with us, and thank goodness he is. A lovely fellow, good player for the Eagles. Let's hope he plays football again, but more importantly, he's alive and well. So is this boy, Lawrence Shackey, as he goes towards goal for his 5th, and the Eagles are on fire.
Well, they've been on fire for the last 3 quarters, and David Foot's been part of that fire as he fed out that handball to Lawrence Shackey. Now he's kicked 2 goals in this final quarter to give him 5. And David Foot, who has for the first time in the last 5 seasons has actually started off the season. He's always had uninterrupted preparation through injury, and he's starting to show his true ability. 30 touches for David Foot. That's a magnificent effort.
And the crowd yell, "Go the Eagles!" And go they might. What a great start to 1989. Coffey, long handball to Schwartz. That's been happening all day. That's nothing new. We're used to that up here. All they've got to do is ask for it. West Torrens and Central will give it to them. Anything like it. The number of handballs they've given directly to their opponents is disgraceful. There's no runner on the ground to tell them that. In fact, the only runner on the ground is Jeff Baines, the West Torrens runner. And he's been doing a lot of work. Lawrence Shackey in ruck, gets it down to ground. Bubner, good athlete, still fighting hard. Pryor. Oh, there he is again. It's a competition to see how many people can kick to him.
We'd like to have a look at those statistics at the end of the game. It's kick number 18 for Schwartz, but gee, I think the Eagles players have had twice as many possessions of what the Bulldogs had. David Foot, possession number 31, and through it goes. Brilliant play, David Foot. He's kicked 4 goals, and I tell you what, it's going to be nice and hard to pick out best on ground here today. You're going to have to say all played well, Neville.
They've all played well, there's no doubt about that. And David Foot, look at him, he's happy. So is Chris Lindsay, so they should be. The Eagles have been alive all day. They've done it well. They're off to a great start, 5 goals, but so did Central. But really it was that second quarter. And they kicked something like 7 goals, and Central could only manage 1 point. And of course, they haven't really been able to recover from that. It's been a sad day for the Dogs.
7.5 minutes gone. Rudy Mandemaker has gone to centre half forward, Ingerson to full forward. I think it's a bit late for those type of moves. Lindsay out to Noel Long, out to John Harper. Can he get a goal and get on the board? Yes, he has. He's the 10th West Torrens player to get amongst the goal kickers.
John Harper. Oh, and the Eagles, they love it. Look at them. Have a look at them. They're very excited, and so they should be. It's been a long time since a West Torrens side has dominated so clearly. And you might argue that South Adelaide are down, and Centrals are certainly down, but you've got to win them, and the Eagles are.
Centre field once more, Big Frank opposed to Coffey. Frank wins that tap. Well, it was about a dead heat, really. Gilbert McAdam got the handle out. It went straight to Lee Robson. He gets a high kick away. Underneath it, Morford, the spoil from Scott Lee. The ball comes down to Shackey one way, then the other, and chips out a magnificent little short pass to find Darryl Smith. Well, the attendance here today is 5,893 people. And Neil Curley is probably in that total. Oh, hang on, he might be disagreeing with me. Stay tuned. Darryl Smith with the football. 4th kick, he's kicked 2 goals, he's kicked 3 goals. I tell you, to use one of Ian Day's saying, it's like shelling peas out there. That's how easy it is for the Eagles.
Neil Curley reached for the phone there. I thought he might be calling a cab. Nothing more he can do here at Football Park. Said earlier he'd be better off duck shooting. Darryl Smith, a recruit from Sturt, to his new club. Played his first game for the club in Woomera, and they had victory there over Sturt. And today, of course, enjoying all this ecstasy.
Back in the centre once more. 9.5 minutes gone. Coffey couldn't quite get a hand of that. Bruce Lindsay over the ball, hocking in there. Players dive on top of each other. 153 points to 62. Umpires officiating today, Laurie Argent and Jeff Jeans. Some people call him Levi. Pretty obvious why. Out to Philip Graham. Neil Curley makes another change. Jamie Thomas off. Gavin Chaplin back onto the field. And the free kick's been picked out. It'll go the way of Gilbert McAdam. Kick number 10. I reckon he might have had about 7 of those in the first term, I would say. Been very quiet the last 3 quarters. Looking for Mandemaker. Kick number 5 from Chaplin. The whistle's gone there. And a mark has been paid. We'll go to Athanasia. The ball out towards Hannam. He couldn't take it. Smith overruns it. Back there is Sullivan. Had a good first term. Been very quiet since going in defence. Gilbert McAdam back to Buckley, who replaced Brady. Over to Gurdon. The running player is Pryor. He should kick long to Ingerson. The ball goes down that way. Oh, Mandemaker's drifted back there. He's got the sit on Athanasia. Couldn't take the mark. And Ingerson picks up the crumbs. Puts it out towards Hocking. The pocket rocket should kick this. And kick their 10th goal at the 10-minute mark of this final term.
Well, full credit to the Dogs. They're fighting on. And Eddie Hocking there. He's usually a live wire around that forward line. Good creative player. Does the crumbing pretty well. But not a lot of opportunities in that forward line today. And on that occasion, they set that goal up pretty well. Ingerson had a fair bit to do with it. And Eddie Hocking was up to putting it through. 23-15, 1-5-3, 10-8, 68.
The Eagles lead by 13 goals and 7 points. And they are giving the Dogs a complete hiding today. The ball now comes in. Bruce Lindsay, hands and knees. Look at his desperation. The same as what it was 4 quarters ago. Graham overran that. Now it's out with Robson. Thought about Hannam, decided to drive it in long. Chris Lindsay couldn't control it. Botka tried to punch the ball clear. Darryl Smith picks up the ball. It goes back out to Chris Lindsay. Diving over the top of there is Botka once more. Socket off the ground. It goes across the face of goal and eventually out of play. We'll have a throw in the left forward pocket. 12 minutes gone in this final term. The Eagles have the breeze. Sprung up a little, but it's still around that 3-goal mark.
Chris Lindsay in ruck. Takes it out of ruck. Quick snap towards goal. Darryl Smith. He's been very active around the goal front since coming on in that second quarter. Scott Lee takes it over the line. Quite happy to concede the point. The 12-minute mark. 23-16, 1-5-4, 10-8, 68. It reads pretty badly for the Dogs.
Yeah, this game has proved a real bonanza for bonanza, I should say, for the Eagles. Apart from just winning it, they're going to get a huge boost with their percentage. Oh, and that's a good pass out to Bruce Lindsay. Bruce Lindsay has kicked 3 goals today. 1 in each quarter so far, barring the last. 24 possessions for the skipper. A very popular man down at West Torrens. Been a loyal club man. Oh, here's the short pass to Schwartz. Well, he probably saw Frank Spiel it is. Well, Frank was standing alongside Bruce and he thought, well, if I jog down 15 metres, no one's going to pick me up, and that's exactly what happened.
They would have worked that out. They would have talked to each other. There was no one near them, and you could just virtually hear Bruce say, listen, why don't you just run down there 10 yards? I'll give you a kick.
Yeah, perhaps you might even get a goal, Frank. It seems to be that easy. Obviously, it's not out there. The Eagles are doing it very well. That falls short. The ball comes off hands. It's picked up by Shackey from an impossible angle. And he's offline. Well, he'd already kicked 5. That would have given him a 6-goal haul, which is a remarkable effort from centre-half forward, and especially for a man that was reported to have a very crook knee.
Lawrence Shackey's been certainly one of their best. And Alan Schwartz has been another. Shackey with 20-odd touches, and Alan Schwartz with 24 touches. Quite a performance by both those players. But they haven't been alone. Bruce Lindsay, as we've said, has been a very, very busy player. Troy Clark's been a busy player for them. David Foote's also played well. Big Robson struggled early, but came back into it. Craig Spill's been busy. Mark Hannam's also been a bit of a star on that half-forward flank. Ball up, forward pocket, far side, and Andy Bennett reaches for the phone. Actually, Kim, he makes a lot of use of runners to offer congratulations as well. He's not always negative.
And that's good. Players need a bit of encouragement, and Torrens have been down for quite a while. So Dale Eichner with an opportunity, puts it up high. Players getting back there is Noel Young, but the mark has been taken by Malcolm McGrath. I think it's good to get encouragement like that, Neville, when players have been down for a long time. McGrath puts Scott Lee under enormous pressure. They've done this to their teammates all day. Now he gets back in there to butter up. Hits the kick away, goes back out to Frank. Frank punts it towards the boundary line. Probably worried his stats were getting up too high, because he certainly could have marked it. Skirting the boundary line is Troy Clark, spearing out a pass looking for Shackey. He couldn't take the ball cleanly. Scott Lee, the kick is high. There's 3 against 2 there. Schwartz takes the mark, and he's hurt Dale Eichner in the process.
He was committed to take it. Other players were jumping with him. But to Eichner's credit, he stayed under the pack and wore what was coming. Shackey. Pryor angry. What about? Probably about the fact that Shackey actually had the run at the ball. Pryor was caught under it. Nobody really decided that they would get in Shackey's road. No teamwork at all amongst the Dogs. We saw just recently Malcolm McGrath's handball. It would only been about 1 metre. Missed his opponent by about 3. Shackey 6 goals on 9's wide world of sports.
Well, an absolutely remarkable performance from centre-half forward. He looks a very elated man. He's had 17 kicks from centre-half forward. He's got a slight hobble up now. He's kicked 6 goals. It's a tremendous performance. And my conscience keeps telling me I'm being too complimentary to the Eagles, but it's pretty hard to say anything nice about the Bulldogs today.
Something drastically wrong at Elizabeth. I don't know what it is, but it's being reflected horribly on the ground Monday night and today. Neil Curley's been down before and he's been able to get sides up. Let's hope he can do it for the Dogs. An important part of SRNL footy. Plenty of talented players. As little Eddie Hockey decides to take off with the ball. Not so. Rudy Mandemaker leading forward for the Dogs. Bulldogs 15 metres out. 10th kick virtually straight in front. Shouldn't prove a problem, but the easiest things today are causing some stress for the Dogs players. In he comes. Head up. Won't make the distance. Front of the pack, almost taking a good mark. That occasion was Ingerson, but couldn't hold it, and we'll have a throw in forward pocket. And there's Rudy Mandemaker, not looking at all happy with that.
17.5 minutes gone, and this last quarter will seem like an eternity for the players out there and the Bulldog supporters that have remained. Athanasia gets the handball back towards Baker, who will run over the line and took the goal umpire out. Tell you one thing about Keith Baker, he doesn't care who he bowls over.
This is very loose. Smith. Just a bit loose. How can a player from a uncontested position get 30 yards clear as Harper goes towards goal? Nearly run down by Gilbert McAdam. His target was foot, but just a little too high for that player. Sullivan with the ball. Goes to the far side of the ground. Nolan first there. Trevor Rowe handballs to Lawrence Shackey. David Foote takes an easy chest mark. 20 minutes out. One in each quarter. This will be his 20th kick. 13 handballs, 33 touches. Good Rovers effort. Let's have a look at him. Steep angle. Head down. Good action. Should be rewarded. And is with his 5th goal. And 9's Widewater Sports.
Well, Trevor Rowe tried to get a handball away about 60 metres away from the Torrens goal. He handballed it straight into the chest of the Torrens opponent. The ball came to ground. Eventually, the ball was put out towards David Foote. He took a mark down on his knees. And as we both mentioned on a number of occasions today, his skills are very good, David Foote, and he posted his 5th goal from a very acute angle.
Chris Lindsay, in he comes against Peter Bubner. Bubner gets the knock. Gurdon pushes it forward. Graham's held without possession. No free kick. Smith working hard in there, and so is Lally. And, we'll have another ball up. Breeze come up a little bit. If anything, it's favouring the Eagles' end. Chris Lindsay. Unorthodox tap to Harper. Lindsay again to Robson. Out in front, Foote. Really shouldn't have been able to get front position there. It's the second player to it all the time. Shackey ends up off a long stream of players. His 7th goal, and this is getting a little ridiculous at Football Park.
Well, those West Torrens players having an absolute ball out there today. Firstly, David Foote got to the ball first, got the handball away while it was being tackled. Then there was some very intelligent football by Darryl Smith as he tapped the ball on. He knew he was hot and couldn't take possession. Tapped it out to Lawrence Shackey, who just cannot miss today. He bangs through his 7th. We've had 20 minutes gone in this final term. The Eagles 26-17, the Dogs 10-9.
Nothing good happening at Football Park for Neil Curley. All the Central players, supporters. It's been a long time since this has happened. But it's happening just too frequently. Baker first to it. Chaplin with him. If I can correct myself, it's a long time since 1989 that this happened to Central, but of course this year it's really the 3rd time they've had a whipping. Beautifully taken by Jeff Graham. His kick towards Foote, he completes it. Up he goes quickly, Bruce Lindsay. Oh, they look good, the Eagles, as they call for Lindsay to kick a goal. He doesn't let them crown, that's his 4th. Unmarch the Eagles on 9's Wide World of Sports.
Well, Bruce Lindsay is another one of those players that has managed to kick a goal in every turn. The moment David Foote shed out that handball, the whole crowd erupted in the Bruce Lindsay chant by calling his Christian name very quickly, and I'm sure the hairs on the back of his neck rose when he heard those chantings, and he banged it through the middle for his 4th goal. And I tell you what, the Eagles are a big chance to win this game by 20 goals.
They lead by 110 points. I don't think they'll amend the 1988 belting they had of the Lizards by 190 odd points. Bruce Lindsay again. He's a favourite out there, there's no doubt about that. Gilbert McAdam trying to get some respect back in the game for the Dogs, trying to get control of the football at least. Really, Kim, they just don't have enough of the football to display anything at the moment.
Oh, there's a few out there that wouldn't even know what it looked like. They wouldn't know what brand it was, Neville. They trailed by 110 points. They won't be able to avenge the 208-point whipping they got last year at Elizabeth, but I'll tell you what, they'll be fairly happy with this performance. It's been very solid. Gilbert McAdam onto the left boot, lifts the eyes, drives it in long, looking for Ingerson or Mandemaker, and Mandemaker takes the mark. And Rudy had been an outside chance to get the distance here. Kick number 11 in a side that has been beaten by 110 points is a pretty fine effort. Kicked 4 goals, went for a short pass looking for Lally, took that cleanly. Oh, good pace then, straightens the body. He's kicked one, but you'll barely hear a whimper from the crowd.
Nonetheless, still good trying to see the Dogs trying to do something with the ball. Mandemaker might have been able to make the distance there, but he decided to give Lally the opportunity. Lally providing the run, running into space, still doing the work. It's a good effort. Expected of a rover. Shouldn't be over-congratulated for that, but under the circumstances, there's not a lot going for the Dogs. It's good to see that a player keeps persisting. There he is, Stephen Lally, kicking his first goal, and the Dogs 11th.
Well, statisticians tell us that that margin was incorrect out of Elizabeth, so this could be a very handy revenge for the Eagles. We'll try and find out what exactly that margin was if we can. If we can't, we'll surely let you know on the Sunday Sports Show. And stay tuned for that. It's on at 1 o'clock. Free kick's been picked out. No, that was correct. It was 35 goals, 23, 233, defeating the Eagles 4-11 at Elizabeth Oval on the 30th of the 4th, 1988. And there's a mark taken by Stephen Geyer. Out to the man that's having a great season in Schwartz. He gives it over towards Athanasia. The Darwin recruit has really found his feet here this season, settled in nicely over to Foot. He was quickly tackled. Jeff Graham took the football, couldn't get it out cleanly. Hocking in there. The ball comes out with Athanasia once more. He spears out a pass looking for Shackey. Well cut off at the pass by Ingerson, having a run at centre half back. And a short pass, and the mark's been taken by Lally. Lally short to Buckley. Started off in defence, started at centre half back. He was the replacement for Brady. Mandemaker couldn't take the mark, and the ball's been punched over the line.
Well spoilt by Schwartz. Been in everything. And a good player for the Eagles. 27 touches. This player in your screen. Certainly had the better of Tony Ingerson. He's looking very dangerous. Ingerson only had 5 kicks. But more because of just good backup, I think, at West Torrens and lack of opportunity from Central District. Troy Clark there with a free kick. Gilbert McAdam, the offender. Laurie Argent supervising. Troy Clark, 17th kick, allowed to play on, which is very, very loose. Lawrence Shackey just gets sick of getting the football at centre half forward. Have a look at this. We've got heads on them like mice out there. There's absolutely no Central District players anywhere. There's no discipline in this club at the moment. David Foot goes towards goal. It's ridiculous. It's too easy. It's not league football. That's his 6th goal on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Well, I'm sure the Eagles would beg to differ with you, Neville. They think it's great league football. David Foot banged through his 6th in what would almost certainly be his most memorable game of league football. He's always had an enormous amount of ability, but has had a constant battle with injuries. We've had a minute of time on. David Foot has had 21 kicks and 17 handballs and kicked 6 goals. And as I mentioned before, how do you pick out best on ground here today?
Chris Lindsay in ruck. He'll do battle against Peter Bubner. There he is, Chris Lindsay. Been a good player for the Eagles. Kicked 2 goals, both in the second quarter. Through strongly, Troy Clark gives it to Lindsay. Lindsay to Noel Long. Back to Nolan. Chip short to Harper. John Harper has 1 goal. 4th quarter. Will line up 45 metres out. Get some advice from Captain Bruce Lindsay. His 12th kick. In he comes. He'd like to rejoin the list of goal kickers in the last quarter. Oh, he's unlucky. Hit the post. With 28 goals, 18. That's 186 points. They lead the Dogs 11-10-76. And Kim, Neil Curley must be a very, very, very unhappy man.
I think he'd be quite shattered. The Eagles have kicked 11 goals, 3 in this final term. A remarkable performance. David Foote out there once more. Quite happy to see that ball go over the boundary line. We've had 2.5 minutes of time on. We'll probably have another 2.5 minutes due to the amount of goals the Eagles have kicked. The Dogs have managed 2. Let's not forget them. By gee, what an ordinary performance by the Bulldogs. A long trip out to Elizabeth tonight. Long brings the ball back across play out towards Troy Clark. He paddles the ball in front of him. Didn't want to take possession. He knew Hannam was there for support. The ball comes out to Harper. Back to Troy Clark. Drew the player in Geyer. Geyer backhands it back to Troy Clark. They still get out of this, I think, the Eagles. They've lost a little bit of ground, but Geyer has the football. Now he chips out a short pass and he finds Hannam. Hannam spears out a pass. It's a wobbly one to Noel Long. He picks it up easily. Can he get amongst the goal kickers as he goes towards goal? The umpire barely moves. Noel Long kicks his first goal. He's got into the action. And about the only player that hasn't kicked the goal is Lee Robson today.
Probably still time, 28 minutes. We'll probably have about 5 minutes of time on. But as Hannam took that ball off the half-forward line, there were really no central players helping out there to put any pressure on him. You had plenty of time. You had something like 4 loose Torrens players at centre-half forward. And they really just took a choice who took it. They've really given up the ghost, the Dogs. And in some ways you can't blame them, but you just can't do it if you're serious about league football.
29 minutes gone. 192 plays 76. Lindsay in there. Noel Long kicks it off the ground. It went like a bullet to Lawrence Shackey, and he took the mark quite easily. He's taken 9 marks. He's had 20 kicks. He's kicked 7 goals, 3. Remarkable performance from a man by all reports was under a huge injury cloud. It may fall short. Oh, it's just touched on the line. So he's kicked 7 goals, 4 from centre-half forward. Neville?
Great effort, difficult position to play. And he's done it well. Valuable player for the Eagles. Eddie Hocking now with the ball. He likes to do that. Comes inside. Brings the ball more directly up the ground. Gilbert McAdam is called out by Lally. It's the right way to go too. Player coming at the football. Goes down the ground, McAdam. He'll pick up the kick there. Noel Long with him. Plays that well. Good grid work to keep him to a kick. Peter Bubner does the crumbing. Tries to chip short to Coffey. Coffey handballs to Robson. That's been happening all day. Noel Long. There's a basketball court to operate in. Goes towards centre-half forward. Shackey was his target. Bruce Lindsay steals it. Does it beautifully. Caught with the ball. Umpire Jeff G says, no one can do anything with that. I better ball it up.
Oh, that was great endeavour by Bruce Lindsay. Tremendous strength to dive on that ball and rip it away from his opponent. Hocking picks up the crumbs. The handball comes out towards Pryor. He has Clark to contend with. Gets around him quite easily. Now the handball to Schwert. Pryor in the 1-2. He did that well. The wobbly kick forward goes straight to Alan Schwartz. He's dominated in defence today. Oh, Dale Eichner dropped that. Has time to recover. Well tackled. And one of the rare mistakes by the Eagles this afternoon. And Eichner would be a little bit sore, I would imagine. When Schwartz took a mark about 5 minutes ago, he went straight through Eichner and he hit the ground pretty heavily.
Laurie Argent puts the ball down. Chris Lindsay gets a tap, goes straight to Hocking. Gurdon in receipt of that as well. Tries to do it by himself, pushes it into that forward pocket. Lally caught, held without the ball. No free kick. That's very bad umpiring. Athanasia back towards the centre of the ground. John Harper, Gilbert McAdam going the wrong way. Will be penalised, rightly so. Harper with the ball. We'll go to Scott Morford. Peter Bubner just can't quite go with him at the moment. Looks a little tired. Very difficult when you're chasing tails all day. Malcolm McGrath first to it. Poor kick by Morford in then. Trevor Rowe to Malcolm McGrath. Nearly caught by Nolan. Gets around him. Runs his full 10 metres, and Coffey takes a good chest mark. 15 metres out from goal. Plays around Athanasia with a chance. Goes towards goal. Lets it go. It's the post. Tells the story.
32 minutes gone in this final term. The siren should sound at any time. 193 plays 77. The mark's been taken by Baker. He goes up the centre of the ground and finds Scott Morford, who farms out a long handle out to the running player in Troy Clark. The football sits up nicely for him. Lindsay wants it. He's there by himself. And he takes the ball. He dropped the mark, Bruce. And he's tackled. Oh, and that's a push in the back. And luck going with the Eagles. Well, look, Bruce perhaps should have held it. Then he was tackled, and well, the umpire saw it as a push in the back. As I mentioned, about halfway through the third term, a decision like that won't make a lot of difference to this game. Kick number 17 for Bruce Lindsay. He's kicked 4 goals. He's had 11 handballs. It's been a great captain's effort. You'll see him tonight on the KG Footy Show as he posts his... He's still on 4 goals, and he's posted his 3rd point. The siren really should sound at any moment now. 29-20. 194 plays 77 behind. Gilbert McAdam picks up the ball. The handball out towards Bubner. Lee Robson, the destroyer, with a good thump away. No one roving the packs.